Got it. Yes. As my new employer, as a background check.
Yeah.
You're doing how many lines?
That guarantees none of us will ever be able to run for public office. Thank God.
All right, let's take it over here.
Hey.
All right, so just so you guys know, your sanity bar. Well, I don't know. It's kind of wacky for some reason. It's not working right. But your sanity bar should show like your level of sanity compared to your maximum sanity. Here, let me drag your tokens back out here. So we're gonna put Marshall. Yeah, see, Alessio's is showing right. So it shows your current level of sanity in relation to your maximum sanity, or it should. And let me change pretty boys. Pretty boy. There we go. Let's see if I can get it to stick.
I would say anytime the doctor and Alessio are standing next to Marshall, he actually is more charming because of the comparison contrast.
Absolutely.
I mean, can you imagine seeing him? Can you imagine seeing Marshall and then the doctor and Alessio behind him? You'd be like, oh, who's the good-looking dude? The other guys are scaring the shit out of me.
Hey, Kyle, exit game voice in Discord.
Okay.
Just in case.
Kill it. Kill it.
Fuck you, Game Voice. All right.
You die. Die, Game Boys. Die.
All right. I'm just going to exit Discord too. Here.
All right. So what I remember last time is that this guy had one of three pieces of something, right? The guy that we're going to go see, or that there was reference to. There was that woman.
Yeah, well, here's some handouts of some of the information that they found out from some library research.
Okay.
Yeah, Anne de Chantrain.
The witch.
Yeah, the bitch. Okay, I remember that.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. She's been around too.
Great. Sure, she
She's
knows
old.
John Scott.
She's an old stinking hoe.
1620, 1745, up to current day, you know? She's another one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently she knew John Scott. You know.
Yep.
All right.
Right. So the same day that you guys explode the Silver Twilight Lodge, you guys are on the boat, the crack Atlantic liner, the Sirius. And we should just kind of briefly talk a little bit. We'll get to what Dr. Van Helsing is doing on the boat as far as studying and stuff. He's probably going to be able to skim the Latin version of the Necronomicon on the voyage.
How many days do we have, Sean? Is it like 7 or 5?
It's like a 12-day voyage, isn't it?
6 days.
6 days? Oh, okay. 6 days there and 6 days back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I obviously did not bring any firearms with me.
Okay, yeah, that's what I want to kind of talk about. The Sirius is bound for the city of Clyde. And then once you get to Scotland, you'll be able to hop onto a train from the Firth of Clyde, and by train you'll travel via Perth, some 200 miles through the Highlands to Inverness. And from there you'll have to either rent a car or find a driver to travel to Cannich. There's a map down here, kind of gives you a basic idea on that trek. You'd be able to probably take a train down to Bewley, and there are, there's a road that goes down the River Bewley, down to the river, River Glass down to Cannich. It's about a full day's travel. So as far as equipment, you guys have stowed away all of your books and artifacts and stuff in a lockbox. So surely that's coming with you.
It is.
And it's probably safe to say, and and Alessio would know, being from Europe and maybe having done some traveling in Britain, that any firearms that you bring will probably be confiscated, or you'll have to show that you have a legitimate reason to own a firearm or to carry a firearm. And as far as handguns or anything like that, rifles and such, it's kind of hard to bring those into the country. Shotguns, on the other hand, if you have a letter giving you permission to, say, hunt on someone's land, from a farmer or something like that, that would usually be sufficient to allow you to bring shotguns into the country. But of course, once you arrive in Scotland, if you wanted to purchase some shotguns, it probably wouldn't be too hard either, as long as you can show that you're hunting, or you have other legitimate reasons to buy these firearms.
Yeah, my suggestion would be that we don't bring any firearms with us. I mean, that's what I tell the party members. We really shouldn't bring anything with us. And then when we get there, maybe we can find a location near Cannich or in Cannich that's like a Highland estate that does hunting, because grouse hunting and stag hunting is a big deal. And then we can actually book, an excursion to hunt, and that'll give us a legitimate reason to purchase shotguns. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's probably the best way to go, because then when we're on the boat, we don't have to, and we come into the country, we don't have any issue with customs. They're not, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to purchase some shotguns, either in Inverness when you get there. That'd probably be the best place to do it.
How about can we bring knives with us, or would it be better to purchase them when we were there too, Sean?
You can. Knives are legal. It's just, depending what kind of knife it is, concealed weapons, things like knives,
What about my trench club?
they can be construed as illegal.
Sure.
Should be fine with the trench club.
Okay.
I mean, as long as it's not like, you're caught with it concealed under your coat or something. You could get busted for something like that.
So just open carry the trench club at all times?
Yeah, but I mean, once you guys are on the train, and arrive in Inverness, you guys are up in the Highlands of Scotland, and it's pretty remote up here. Law enforcement is probably, constables are few and far between up here, so shouldn't be a problem.
My drugs, I assume, are okay, given my medical background and need for administration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can we do a couple things on the trip over, Sean, if we want to do a couple simple things?
Yeah, I wanted to go over the skimming of the Necronomicon with Tom and anything
else.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else?
Nothing like the simple skimming of the Necronomicon.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's no repercussions there.
No.
What did you have in mind, Lee?
While Alessio was on the ship, he was going to do two things. He was going to study some English, try to improve his English skills. If there's anybody on the ship who can be like a tutor, do some sessions, hour, couple hours a day or something. And then also, I wanted to avail myself to the skeet shooting, since I don't really know how to use a shotgun, and just get some the most basic.
Oh, okay.
Skeet shooting skills, because they'll have skeet shooting on the back of the boat. I do that every day too, if there's someone there who can help me and instruct me. So I do a little English studying, and I do a little shotgun shooting.
Yeah,
well,
practice.
Yeah, just get some practice. Just figure, how to load it, how to, it's not a skill I have.
Sparky will talk as much English as Alessio is willing to tolerate, and I need to work on my shotgun stuff as well. So I'll be out there back with them.
Okay. Yeah, it is about a week trip, so you'll be able to get some practice in. Why don't both of you guys make a skill check for the shotguns? I believe the base for rifle shotgun is 25. So we're gonna make a skill check for that. And if you fail, you'll be able to add a D10.
Cool. Failed. Sweet.
I failed too.
Having some problems with the video encoder. I can't guarantee that this video is going to come out okay, but we'll see.
Where is my shotgun skill?
Okay, so what
It's under firearms.
you said the base was 25, Sean?
25, yeah.
Okay, so I got 5. So.
So did
It's
I.
on your skill list under F, Tom. It'll say firearms R/S.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Rifle and shotgun are combined now.
Got it. 50%. Got it. Okay.
You can make a check for yourself too, Tom. You go out skeet shooting with the boys.
Cool. Come on, baby.
There you go.
Yeah, man. Well, bam. What's that? I didn't see that.
It's a 4.
4. Okay. Dun dun dun.
All right, so skimming the Necronomicon. Just takes you a couple of days. And essentially what we're looking at here, you have the
Jesus.
What is that noise, dude?
I'm sorry. I'm doing some lines. My bad.
okay. Of course, you've already skimmed the Greek version, and it's very similar. All of the same, much of the same contents in here. As far as the spells are virtually identical.
Okay.
Call, dismiss, Azathoth, Cthulhu, Haster, Nyagtha, Shub-Niggurath, Yog Sothoth, Contact Ghoul, Contact Sand Dweller, Contact Nyarlathotep, Dominate, Dread Curse of Azathoth, Dust of Suleiman, Elder Sign, Powder of Ibn Ghazi, Resurrection, Shriveling, Summon Bind Bayaki, Summon Bind Fire Vampire, Enchant Whistle, which goes with the Bayaki spell, Summon Bind Servitor of the Outer Gods, Vorsh Sign, Body Warping of Golgoroth, Bless Blade, Mist of Rayleigh, Candle Communication, and Clutch of Nyagtha.
1d20 sanity loss. Whoa. Caster overcomes target magic points. Attacking their heart.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. I like that, but clutch.
So speaking of sanity loss.
Uh-oh. Bless Blade.
Yeah, that's the Dust of Ibn Ghazi, the Vorsh Sign, and the Blessed Blade, man. Those are the...
And body warping.
Before you go insane from reading what you've read,
Yeah.
you need to tell us about that shit.
Yeah. Body warping.
Not really sure about that, but Blessed Blade, and Powder of Ibn Ghazi, like, you should let us know about that shit.
So Tom, you'll gain 5 to your Cthulhu Mythos.
Nice.
You're going to lose 2d10 sanity.
Oh, shit. Really? Just for skimming? I haven't even read the whole thing yet.
Oh, you've read enough.
It's the fucking Necronomicon, dude.
So if you take the time to fully read it, which would take you, a year,
All right.
you would gain the other benefits and effects on the handout here. You gain skill checks and anthropology, archaeology, etc., etc. You would gain another plus 11 to your Cthulhu Mythos, and then you'd also lose another 2d10 sanity points.
Jesus. Okay.
And you would also then
Jesus.
be able to use it as a reference as well. So go ahead and roll 2d10. Let's see what happens.
Oh, man. All right. Hold on, boys.
Yeah, man, don't lose your fucking cookies.
Oh, shit. 2d10?
2d10. the Necronomicon, man. What do you expect? Oh,
Oh! What was that?
Holy shit.
Fuck!
there's 10.
Oh. Dude. Liking my body warp more and more.
Oh my god, dude. You rolled 2 10s?
Yes.
That's not good.
I know it's not.
I have the morphine syringe ready.
Oh, dude.
Oh wait. Luck roll. Luck-a-rama, the new rules.
What Luckarama? What is Luckarama?
I'm applying the new rules, man. I'm throwing down my luck right now.
Unfortunately, sanity is one thing you can't use luck on.
Yo!
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right.
Yes,
so,
but what about the Luckarama
What about the luck-a-rama roll? Man?
clause? What
Yeah,
about the
what is-
Luckarama
what is-
clause?
First off,
Section 5.
what is
C2.
Luckarama?
It's something I need.
Exactly.
Something I need.
Exactly. The version 8 edition that hasn't been released yet, Luckarama.
Yes.
indefinite insanity ensues.
Oh fuck.
Fuck me. Dude, we need you stupid marvelous bastard.
Okay.
How dare you roll that way on the dice?
Dude.
Oh, hey, Tom, by the way, like Slayer's final, they're breaking up. And so it's, as far as like sanity rolls, June 15th, they're going to be in Orlando. Let's talk about that.
Ooh.
Not right
Okay.
now.
No.
We should probably go.
We probably should go. Okay. Where in Orlando? At the House of Blues?
I don't know. Somewhere in Orlando. Does it really matter?
I'm just trying to get a visual. Okay. June 15th. All right.
Like, oh, I'm not going there.
Well, if it's in House of Blues, I might be able to get box seats because I know a guy who's got it. So
I don't know.
Okay. All right. No worries. But anyway,
We'll take a look.
permanent insanity loss. What?
It's you're going to be dealing with indefinite insanity. I'm going to deal you some cards here. Find a friend. Uh-oh, pumpkin. Let's see, I'm going to give you a phobia.
Even the
And the
music's
main-
sad.
That's the normal music. Don't make it.
Yeah, but
Don't make it
means
into
now.
something that's not, Tom.
Hmm. So you got demophobia, a fear of crowds, and also
A fear of cocaine. No.
Oh!
don't have a card here, I think.
Shit.
Tom, see if you can get rid of that violence card that I dealt you. If you click on the cards above your avatar down there, see if you can drag that violence card onto the table. We can delete it.
Which one's
And-
that? The green, red, or?
It's in the top. It's under Madness Summary, and it's the second one there.
Madness summary.
I didn't mean to deal you that one. And you got a mania.
Or did
Oh,
he?
shit. Legyromania. You have an uncontrollable compulsion to make loud noises, especially at inappropriate times.
What is this rude
What is
interruption?
this crude interruption? Who are all these people?
So pretty much his normal self.
I'm loud. I don't like lots of people.
Most likely you will favor one or two signature noises. Or perhaps you make a range of outlandish sounds when you feel nervous. Naturally, seeing a balloon will make you want to pop it. You may also function better when immersed in loud noise, such as music played at full volume. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Or
Perhaps this stems from a fear of silence.
so basically, anytime you're at my house, you'll be totally comfortable.
Now I really want to go to the Slayer concert.
Yeah, or the Cuban chaos machine that's invoked all the time here.
So, Sean, what card am I trying to get under phobia? Mania? What's?
It's the one. It's the one in the madness summary. For some reason, I can't drag it off of the sheet. It's the one that says violence on it. If you click on it, it'll open it up on your screen. It says violence.
Okay, I see it. Yes, I'm trying to
You
delete
can
it.
click
Or?
and drag that out onto the tabletop.
Jesus, Tom.
There we go, like that.
There you go. Yeah.
What are you doing over there, mate?
I don't have violence. I'm okay with that.
Right. Now you got find a friend as your bout of madness. Why are you here? Shouting out the name of someone you know. People are staring at you and you have no idea how you came to be here and why you are in such a need to get to this person. Depending on where that person resides, you could be a very long way from home. Since you're on a boat, let's say that after skimming this Necronomicon, perhaps something specific that you found in there just kind of was very, very disturbing to you. And perhaps the boys invited you, on the upper deck there to do some skeet shooting, and on your way up there, you see a girl, a young woman who looks like Pumpkin. And then again, you're like seeing your daughter in the crowds here, which would trigger in some way your demophobia, your fear of crowds. So you're going to want to avoid large groups of people. It says you can become paralyzed with fear by just the thought of finding yourself in a busy place full of people. Oof. Turning a corner to find yourself in a crowd, you sweat, shake, and your mouth goes dry. Every fiber of your being is telling you to flee. And if you cannot do so, then you crumple and fall to the floor, violently shaking.
Oh shit.
Exposure to crowds causes an overwhelming response, and all actions while in a phobic state other than fleeing from it or fighting are made with a penalty die. A successful use of psychoanalysis skill allows you to temporarily reduce your stress. And then on top of that is the mania, the legyromania, an uncontrollable compulsion to make loud noises. So what you're going to be dealing with here is, for a short term, you're going to be dealing with this obsession with your daughter. And when that passes, you will suffer to some extent from what's called delusions. I may describe things to you that you see or hear or
Oh, we lost Lee.
And so when I may describe something as we're going, through this adventure here,
Okay.
to the party as a whole, I may describe something different for the doctor. He may see something or hear something or whatever that the rest of you don't. You can do it what's called to mess with you if you don't have sand when you fail to roll for your reality check.
Now, will any of this heal itself if I go through counseling?
Yes. Yeah, you can recover sanity points over time. Unfortunately, for indefinite insanity, it's like one roll at the end of each month of treatment. Although when we do skill checks and things like that, we may be able to kind of work something out where you recover a small amount of sanity as time goes by.
Okay. Crap. That sucked.
Yeah, that
You got a
that
backup
kind of
character,
bugs me.
Tom?
No. I don't. Where are we heading? Ireland?
It's always
Scotland.
been Knuckles.
Scotland.
Scotland?
You probably need to roll up a backup character.
Yep.
So do I. So
The Scottish priest.
So let's see, your current sanity then is going to go down to 34. Is that right?
Oh my God. Hold on. Yeah, probably 30 something.
Yeah, I'm going to change that for you.
Yep,
You're at
34.
You're at
Yep.
34.
Oh.
So you can kind of see that reflected in your blue bar there. A
Ugh.
little low. Yeah, and you're going to be suffering from delusion, so this should be fun. There's going to be all kinds of weird and wild shit happening to the doctor this session.
Oh, God. Sorry, gentlemen. Not what we wanted.
But you do now have, access to the spells in the Necronomicon. Although I believe you said too that you were studying Command the Trees from the Nameless Cults,
Yeah.
which takes 2 weeks. You could, I mean, it's only been less than a day or two since you started doing that, so you could abandon studying Command the Trees and start trying to study a spell from the Necronomicon if you like.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Necronomicon. I'm committed.
And the list of spells is here.
What do you guys think?
If you just scroll down.
I don't know. I lost you guys for a couple minutes. So what happened? You lost a shit ton of sanity, and now what's going on?
I don't
Yeah.
like. I have to make loud noises. I don't like crowds, and I'm looking for pumpkin endlessly right now, all over the boat,
Yeah, you're actually seeing Pumpkin.
everywhere. Oh God! But between all that, I'm trying to pick a spell I want to learn.
Well,
Yeah,
we
on the second day
notice
of
his
the trip-
behavior, right?
Oh yeah, on the second day of the trip, you notice a definite change in the doctor's behavior. He starts babbling about Pumpkin and how Pumpkin's on the boat. And he keeps yelling at you.
Anything specific?
I don't know,
Nope.
Tom. anything
Just
specific?
really loud. La 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 la.
Yeah.
So
Quit
we'll,
yelling at me, you fucker.
And I take books and I clap them together. Bam, bam, bam.
if he Sean, if he has any sedatives or any kind of tranquilizers, not totally put him out, but that would calm him down in his medical bag,
Yeah.
I'll pull a couple of those out and be like, here, man, have a drink of have a glass of wine and take this. That way you can study better. You'll be able to focus better.
Yeah.
I drink it. And then
Yeah.
I take 2 books and I go crack and I smack the binders together. Bam, bam, bam.
Impressive. Like,
feel
well,
better.
that's impressive.
All right. Well, Tom, go ahead and choose one of the spells on the list there.
What do you guys think? Body warping. Force sign. Mist. Candle communication. I don't want to talk to anybody. I hate people.
Oh, how many spells can you learn? 1?
You can start learning 1. Yeah.
Say Blessed Blade.
Yeah, Blessed Blade or Powder of Ibn Ghazi.
Yeah, one of those two.
Don't we already have that one? Powder of Benghazi?
No, we don't.
No. It does allow you to use the alternate version of Elder Sign.
Right. Without any power
Sanity.
loss.
Yeah, sanity burn.
Oh, and we don't have that?
No, we don't. So if we had to make a Elder Sign right now, it would be costly.
All right, so I'll do Elder Sign then.
The Powder of Ibn Ghazi?
No, Elder Sign.
No,
Well, that's
no,
what
we know the Elder Sign, but the Powder of Ibn Ghazi would allow us to use
Oh, the powder to make the Elder Sign.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
but I mean, I would say, why don't you focus on Blessed Blade and hit Powder of Benghazi next? Because we have at least 2 Elder Signs with us. We've got
Okay.
the stone that we
Got
got from Arkham,
Yep.
and
And the
we've got
shield.
the shield. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I can briefly describe each spell to you. The Powder of Ibn Ghazi costs 1 magic point per dose. Casting time is 2 days preparation. And the spell makes visible, magically invisible things
Ooh.
by blowing the powder against or over the invisible thing. Powder must be compounded carefully according to exacting instructions. It involves 3 separate ingredients, sacrifice of 1 magic point per dose. A dose is 1 application of the powder. The powder is either blown from a tube or thrown over the target. The thing that is dusted stays visible for no more than 10 heartbeats. That which could be made visible includes the magical lines extending from a place enchanted for the calling of a mythos deity, for example, the aura around a gate, or a creature that is normally invisible, such as a star vampire. Using the powder costs no sanity, but seeing what it exposes may. Blessed Blade is pretty cool. It does cost 5 power points and 1d4 sanity points. Creates a blade capable of damaging or killing entities that cannot be harmed by mundane weapons.
Ooh.
Reading the spell, it does require the blood sacrifice of an animal at least size 50. So a large beast must be sacrificed. The blade of the knife must be of an elemental metal such as iron or silver. The blade may be of any size. However, of course, larger blades do greater damage. If the blade is broken, melted, or otherwise damaged, it permanently loses this ability. However, it will not be harmed in attacks against supernatural entities.
Cool.
All right. I take it there's no cows on board the boat,
No. No.
and then that's going to cost me another
But
1d4
it's
sanity.
going to take you. Yeah, whichever spell you choose is going to take you 2d6 weeks to learn.
I'm going to go Blessed Blade.
So it's going to take some time to learn whatever you choose there.
Blessed the blade.
I'd like to request Dr. Van Helsing's screen. I think it's probably time.
All right, so Dr. Van Helsing begins.
And I take the books and I bang them on the table. Bam, bam, bam! Don't make me go outside. Crack, crack!
If he wasn't disconcerting enough,
I know, right?
now he's even more disconcerting.
What is this crude interruption?
I mean, I think more than anything else, you just should blurt that out more often. I mean, because the Necronomicon is like a serious tome. Like, I don't think you could probably, bang that against the table.
No,
Like
no, I'm not banging the Necronomicon. I'm not that insane. I'm taking, other,
You're not taking the book from 700 BC and
Right,
banging
right.
it all over the place.
the Greek book and the Latin book going crack, crack, smacking them together. No. I'm taking the.
There's crazy, and then there's that crazy.
Yeah, I'm taking Treasure Island and Moby Dick and cracking those together.
Treasure Island and Moby Dick. All right.
Do not make me go outside and meet any people. Just don't. Leave me be. Damn. Where's Pumpkin? Why is she here? I thought she was at the doctor's. Sean, do I start running around the ship trying to find her? Uh-oh, we lost Sean.
He'll come back in due time.
All right. Meanwhile, I started looking for Pumpkin, avoiding the crowds, yelling loudly,
You're-
Pumpkin!
You're looking in the commissary when nobody's there.
Right, Pumpkin! Screaming. I'm not digging the Sandy, man. 20 points of Sandy, that sucks, dude.
Dude, you gotta quit reading the Necronomicon.
Dude, I gotta get the blade, man.
Well, Blessed Blade, okay, fine, but like, we don't want to lose Dr. Van Helsing.
He's lost. Learn the spell, pass on the knowledge, roll up another character, Tom.
I know. 30 points or 20 points. That's hard to come back from.
It's difficult. Yeah.
That was a epic loss.
Hey, man.
Got to pay the price.
Cthulhu. That stuff will happen.
20 points though. I mean, shit.
That was a terrible roll, Tom.
That was fucked up.
Did you ever roll 2d6? Roll 2d6.
What's that for?
It's for the number of weeks it takes you to learn Blessed Blade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Once again, roll 20 freaked out on me.
Yeah, freaked out on me too.
9 weeks.
9 weeks.
Eesh. Can I use Luck-a-Rama on that?
No.
Okay.
But it may take you a little less than that. Since you're, depending on your Cthulhu Mythos skill, your education, intelligence, things like that.
Okay.
We'll reduce it a little bit. Probably looking more like 6 or 7 weeks.
So you blacked out there for a minute. So I was telling these guys I'm running around the boat looking for Pumpkin, yelling her name, screaming, avoiding crowds.
I'll tell you what, guys, just to be safe, why don't we go into Discord and use Discord for chat? Because I don't want this freezing up on me and shit in the middle of play. I thought that roll 20 was going to work here, but it's not. It's just crazy. So I'm going to turn off chat in here. Let's go into Discord for voice chat.
Look at that.
Don't
Are
let
we
it
gonna-
inflate your ego, Sean.
Are we gonna do video on the roll 20 side?
I say fuck it for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd
Let
like
it
to
be
but
fucked.
It's just not working, man. I think it's working much better now.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we were just checking to see if it worked, anyways, right?
Yeah, when I was testing it out with 3 different computers today, and it seemed to be working okay. But then I noticed the computer I'm recording on, the CPU started working really, really hard once everybody logged on.
I'll be right back.
I blame Dr. Van Helsing's reading of the Necronomicon.
I know.
It impacted your CPU
Yeah.
usage.
All right, let me restart this.
What's up?
Oh no. Just give me a second here.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know. All right, it seems to be recording okay. It's working okay. Just give me a sec.
Hello?
I can hear you now.
All right, sweet.
Yeah, shit. Hang on, I'm having problems here. Hold on.
That Belvini looked good.
It is good. It's the good stuff, baby.
Yeah, it's been a little while since I've drank any of that. I've been pretty much beer and wine.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay, you can. Okay, good.
You can hear something crazy in the background, too.
That's not me.
You still hear it?
I'm here.
No, I don't hear the rap. Now I do. All right. Keep your trap tunes to yourself, man. Booga booga.
Ooga booga.
Booga.
Uh-oh.
What?
Keeper of the Madness got the blue screen, baby.
Oh, that's
no.
not good.
That's not good.
That's not good, man.
Oh, maybe we can just restart the whole night and I get to re-roll everything. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
reboot
yeah.
the whole game.
I don't know about that, baby. I like what you're saying, but
Yeah.
Don't think it's gonna fly.
well, I mean, I don't know.
By fly, if you mean crash into the ground like a burning hulk of a blimp.
Never say never, but I'm pretty sure that one's a never.
On that one there. You could try to make some cockamamie story up about like how it was a system-wide error and bug and
Like everything's rolling 10 constantly. Everything's a 10.
but it would just be a bold-faced lie.
Yeah.
Wait, no, I mean he could still be recording, so the answer is no.
No. Yeah. No. No.
I'm sure his recording.
That's actually happening. Don't give us so easily on the dream, baby.
You guys should definitely roll some backup characters though.
Hey, who says I haven't?
Have you?
I have.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think I'm gonna roll up a Scottish priest.
That sounds like a great idea.
Hey, laddie. I can get my Scottish accent going.
Yeah.
What manner of beastie is that, laddie?
Oh, yes. A little Star Trek cartoon action.
Yes. Exactly.
Dude, I remember that episode over at your house with Wes in the recliner.
Yes. What manner of beastie is that?
Mildly disinterested with a Black Label beer in his hand.
Awesome.
Classic. Oh man, there's some wild parties at Tom's house.
You guys need to come out on the back porch with me and gamble.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you a dice game.
Big party at your house, man. Everybody was over there throwing down. 100 people there or something. It was crazy. And I think it was me and Sean, actually. I think I was like, hey, man, where's Tom gone? We couldn't find you. So I was like, let's look around. So we looked all through the house, and then we were like, well, maybe he's outside. We walk outside, walk out front, smoking a cigarette. I kind of look down the road, and I see a foot sticking up out of the ditch. And I'm like, him down there. So I think it was Sean. I think it was me and Sean. I'm pretty sure. I think Sean. I think we went down there, and I think Sean hoisted you over his shoulder. Oh, and fucking we took you back, and you were totally. You had a bottle of like Rumplemints, and it was all gone.
Oh, dude.
It was like Rumplemints all. Yeah, I believe it was. I believe that was the same party where Offie was in the bathroom the morning after and was like, he kept on screaming and
Help me. And
yeah,
I got up and checked on him.
Kill him.
And I was like, what's wrong with you, man? Are you dying or something? No, I feel awful. I'm like, shut up, you pussy.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's overheating.
Oh, so it's like overheating.
It's okay. Well, you could fix it. I'll occasionally feed the doctor a sedative, you know, every 4 hours or 5 hours or whatever to keep him a little more calm. If there's, I'll get a radio, a small little transistor radio. If they have something like, is there a radio? Are there radios or something like that, Sean? I'm trying to think of some way to supply him with some music. Are there
Ooh, I
some?
put it in black.
Yeah, well, yeah. Why don't you? Yeah, if we have that little recorder, man, we try to our cabin, as it were, so the doctor's not so.
I turn it up to 11.
The music, yeah, the music with the sedative, hopefully, will keep him a little more.
A cow?
No problem. There's plenty of cattle here in Scotland, Doctor.
Rhino, hippo.
Cow might be, yeah, cow might be easier to get a hold of.
That all sounds like rational stuff to me. I mean, you're going to need to kill a cow anyways at some point, right?
Awesome.
I yell, the trouble with Scotland is it's full of Scots.
Thereby endearing us to the local, like no other comment you can make.
Actually, does Do you have headphones with the tape recorder, Kyle? Okay.
I may have lost them.
Understood. So is there...
Oh, because you can't block stuff out.
Yeah, we should also do a little supply getting and possibly look into scheduling some kind of hunt for the estates near Cannich, you know? Do all that.
Once we make it Scott's side, I'm going to write a letter to Jacob and just let him know and like attach like the newspaper article of the Silver Twilight blowing up.
Oh, and I wanted to send a picture
just for
of that
some,
Pump.
pastime reading in the cell.
I wanted Pumpkin to see that too.
I'll send Pumpkin the same letter essentially
Perfect.
at Dr. Van Helsing's request.
I say she's here on the boat. You just gotta find her.
Of course, Doctor. Of course.
Let's book ourselves a nice place in Inverness and let's do a little. We should go to a place and get some camping gear and some other stuff, and then try to contact some kind of lodge hunting trip, and then we can have a reason to and other stuff, right?
Somewhere where there's not a lot of people.
That'd be cool to actually. Yeah. Yep.
Is there any chance I could pick up a handgun or no?
No, but you might be able to buy a flare gun,
Okay.
and I think that's a pistol skill. But it's something you could use. It's a flare.
What time of year is it again, Sean?
It. Or
Bag, shotguns, sawed off, and a regular one.
well, not off. We can get a.
Oh, and I need a sword of high quality. Whatever the spell required. It was either silver or what was it?
has to be iron.
Iron. Ooh, no, Sean, I want a cane sword. A sword that's hidden inside the cane. Yep.
An
Yeah.
iron cane sword?
Silver would be cool.
I'll get silver if I can find one, but that sounds a little more difficult.
What does something specific require an iron sword?
Yes.
An iron blade?
Iron or silver.
Yep.
Go with the silver, baby. Iron's brittle as fuck.
All right, I'll get silver.
Probably have to have someone make it for you, Tom.
All right. So we start looking around for that then too. One of the other things then we start hunting for.
I'm sure there's a good silversmith in Inverness. How
Money's
much?
no. Money means nothing.
Good
Done.
God.
Yeah, the doctor's not been spending any of his other spending cash.
Yep. It's going to take me, 5 weeks to learn the spell anyway, so start making that sword.
Yeah, so camping gear would be tents, sleeping bags.
How much is the sword costing? $350.
Yeah,
Yep.
flare gun, flares, cooking set, some type of little, if they have such a thing.
Definitely.
Four sleeping bags,
Mhm.
flare gun,
Flare guns.
pistol. No, just one. I can't really use it.
Okay.
6 flares. $50 of rope. Some kind of grappling hook.
Also, you're going to have to find a way to get down to Cannich too, some kind of vehicle. You could rent a car, or you could just have a driver take you down there. It's up to you.
What's easiest?
You'd probably want to. I don't know. It's up to you, really. I mean, it's not a problem to do either.
We'll
You
rent a
may
car.
want to have your own vehicle. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You
We'll
don't
rent a
want.
car
You
then.
don't. Yeah. You don't want any like people witnessing the odd behavior of the doctor if you can help it. Might cause some suspicion. You know.
Any other equipment you guys can think of?
You got the eating.
Windproof matches.
Yeah, we probably need a
lighter.
one jerry can or 2 jerry can fills with gasoline. For the car.
Sure. Couple rag.
Bucket of acid.
Yep.
Bucket of acid.
I kid. Maybe an axe or two.
Ooh.
Actually, get 3 hatchets.
Okay.
I think that's good.
Also, as I mentioned, it might be worth one of you contacting the local law enforcement to see if they know anything about the disappearance of Hancock. I mean, this is the the city that's closest to Cannich, and Jacob
Smart.
Hancock did mention that he had contacted the authorities about the disappearance of his uncle, so they may know something.
Hey, Sparky, why don't you go down and do that? Charm the local constabulary, and I'll hang out with the doctor and playing loudly and try to.
You do have to kind of
occupy him.
keep in mind, though, that last week, I mean, what you guys did in Boston, both both you, Lee, and Kyle, both of you guys are wanted in Boston for questioning.
Well, a
we did
priest,
have
a
good
priest and a workman are wanted in Boston.
Yeah.
disguises on.
I mean, the chances of someone recognizing you over here in Scotland would be slim, but I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, this is the era when you could move like 10 miles away and start a brand new family.
Yeah.
Well, that was why the planning was good as far as doing it and then jumping on the ship. You know, get the hell away from Boston.
So it makes sure we're not in disguise.
Okay.
Well, like I said, I'll stay with the doctor and keep him occupied. Sparky can go down there by himself. It'll be even less,
Well, Sparky, you're able to arrange a meeting with a local constable. It's an Inspector Liam McDougal. And you ask him if he knows anything about, the disappearance of Henry Hancock down in Cannich. And basically, here's what he tells you. He says, well, no, we've not been able to locate Mr. Hancock, nor Dr. Chisholm, which, who is his assistant. He said they fired their help at where they were digging up at Loch Mullardock, or Mullardock, I guess you pronounce it. Apparently they had to dig down at the lake. He says Hancock's house is closed up. The car is on blocks. There are reports that they had a change of plan and returned to Africa, and it does look that way, he says. Changes of plans often occur, But we admit we found nary other traces so far, such as them purchasing steamship tickets or having registered at hotels. They're missing persons, but we have no leads. And he says, if your search, you let him know, that you're here on behalf of Jacob Hancock, his nephew. And he says, if your search turns up anything significant, he asks you to call him immediately.
Of course.
Where's this dig?
Cannich, right?
It's at
that
Loch Mullardock, which is just
Do you know where
outside of
that-
Cannich.
Okay.
It's a lake just outside of Cannich. And Inspector McDougal, also Sparky, with a little charm, he surrenders the door key to you for Hancock's Cannich home. And he says, we had a wee quick peek downstairs and nothing of note.
Oh, I see.
Give me a psychology roll for Sparky.
Gladly.
It's an odd comment to make.
Says
you look in the
insane doctor.
Yes. How about the attic? How about the bathroom?
All right.
Oh, so close. Can I use luck here?
Yeah.
I'll toast 6 luck points to make it.
Okay.
Luckarama.
You don't get to check for it, though.
Exactly.
You just get a sense that, that the last comment is kind of odd when he says that we had a wee quick peek downstairs and nothing of note. You get a sense that he's not telling the complete truth regarding what they may or may not have found at Hancock's place. There's something he's not telling you. For sure.
Okay. Well, sadly, I'm sure we'll encounter it live and in person.
So you guys hire a motor car. Best available machine is a 1922 Morris Oxford 1.8 liter limousine. It's a 6-seater.
Slumming.
Yeah. And it's kind of old, kind of used, but it runs. It's got good tires. And it's about a 30-mile drive to Cannich. A little bit more than an hour, between an hour and hour and a half. It'll probably take you to get there.
All right, well, we'll enjoy the ride. I'm sure it's a nice vehicle, really.
So, Tom, you make arrangements to have the cane sword made
Okay.
in Inverness about 2 weeks. And they want the cash up front.
I give it to him. And I named the sword Pumpkin.
So you never have to go looking for her again.
Well, hopefully you'll get that far.
Oh boy.
All right, so you guys are heading off to Cannich. Anything else you're doing in Inverness?
I mean,
Is there a pretty serious bank here? I'm sure there is, right?
Yes, actually.
We might want to consider getting like a safety deposit box and putting some of the books, the ones we're not
studying currently.
Yeah,
right.
there's
So they're
there's
not
a major branch of the Royal Bank of Scotland here in Inverness.
right. What do you think of that, Tom?
That's a great idea.
I mean, we should keep the
Sparky's way in on that one.
yeah, we should keep the amulet, and of course, Tom studying the Necronomicons.
Well,
Keep
just
out of there.
put the old Greek one in the safety deposit box, but we can put the one that I'm studying, the Latin one that we got from Masonic University. Well, I'll take that. I'll keep that one out and study that one because that's what I'm reading.
The elder signs, and I don't know what else we have, but I think one of the amulets. But the other books, we should put them into the a safety deposit box, and we should make sure all three of us have a key or have access to it, basically.
Yep.
Okay. So you're taking the Latin version of the Necronomicon. You're taking the Elder Signs, you said?
We're keeping the elder signs with us.
Okay.
Definitely
Yeah.
keeping the elder signs.
What about the golden medallions?
We're gonna keep
At least
those with
one.
us.
Just at least one or two. I don't think we need them all.
Okay.
Agree?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. If we put one of the elder signs in the safety deposit box, wouldn't that protect it from creatures taking our books?
Oh, one of the elder signs?
Yeah.
Very well may.
Yeah, which one? I guess we could put the. Well, which one do you want to put there? Either the stone or the shield?
Which one's more cumbersome?
The
The
shield's
cumbersome
probably
one.
more cumbersome.
I'll put that one in there. We'll take the smaller one with us.
All right, we'll put the shield on top of the books. Everything else, we'll bring the stone with us.
Okay.
Sparky will
Can I
have
have
that
a-
on his person.
Can I have a fourth key made and find a local Catholic church and give it to a Scottish priest to hold on to for me?
That's might be kind of an odd request, but sure.
I find a priest says, "Ah, laddie, what can I do for you?" I say, "Father, I need blessing." And I scream it really loud. And I go there when there's nobody else there. I need blessing.
So basically, you're telling him you want him to hold on to this key for a. Do you tell him what the key is for, or?
Nope, just until if I don't come back, open the envelope and I write a small note in there if I don't come back in 3 weeks.
Okay. He does. He agrees that he will hold the key for you, and he blesses you.
And I go through what do you call it?
Confession.
Confession, absolutely.
How honest are you, Tom, in your confession?
And I
That's
ask for
my
my last
question.
right.
That's a
I
good
ask for last
question.
rights.
Ask for last rights.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. He gives you your last rights, gives you your confession. Does his duty. Doesn't ask any probing questions or anything. And he says he'll hang on to the key for you. And he blesses you and wishes you well.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing suspicious about somebody asking for last rites before they do, like out of nowhere.
And Sean, my next character is going to be a Catholic priest in Scotland.
Okay.
Hey, how's it going? Could you give me last rites?
Hey, hold on.
But
Sure,
first,
Hold
that's
on, to
my
this,
awful list of horrible transgressions.
hold on to this key for me. Forgive me, Father, but I have sinned. I killed about 30 people back in New Jersey.
They probably had it coming, but
They did. They were all evil.
You don't really tell him that.
Nope. I'm not that insane.
All right. As you're leaving the church, Tom, you see a dark-skinned man kind of lingering out on the street outside of the church. He looks African or Arabic, possibly. He's wearing a fez. He's standing on the street. He's reading a newspaper.
What?
He looks like he looks just like one of the servants that you remember seeing, like at the Silver Twilight Lodge. Same clothes, same fez. He looks familiar.
oh shit.
But he's just standing there. He's reading a newspaper. Looks like he's trying to hail a cab.
That's how it all starts. Yeah, good luck. Dark-skinned guy trying to hail a cab in Scotland in 1920. That guy's fucked. He's never going to get a cab, man. So what I'm trying to say is you're safe, Tom.
Tom, so
Yeah.
so you see this guy. So you kind of take a few steps towards him to kind of get a closer look at him, and just to make sure, he does look familiar to you. So you want to get a closer look at him, and there's something wrong with his eyes. They're a very strange color. They look gray, or they almost look white, like he doesn't even have any pupils.
I start reading that spell that turns people back to dust.
Yeah, you know it by heart. All right, so you start muttering the resurrection spell under your breath.
Yep.
Nothing happens, but he does notice you standing there, and he turns and he looks at you. And there's definitely something wrong with his eyes. His eyeballs are just milky white.
Is he blind?
Oh, thank God it wasn't pink eye. Very
Well,
contagious.
That's your first thought, but he's looking at you.
Oh, he's making eye contact with you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't suffer that, man. You gotta kick his ass.
Say, why are you here?
Prison rules.
Prison rules.
You eye fucking me, boy?
He says with a thick Scottish accent, he says, "Do I know you?"
You're about to.
We're going to. Yeah.
Kicking the shit out of him.
Tom, his left hand that's still holding the newspaper, there's something wrong with his hand too. His hand, his fingers look like greenish black tentacles.
Dude, you're having a fucking
I leave.
delusion. That's
Yeah, I
probably
leave.
some.
I ran away. I go find my friends.
Okay.
I'm outta here.
That's some old lady, like has her grandchild. You're about to kill her.
Yeah.
So the doctor returns to the flat, and he's sweating profusely.
So he's normal.
Do not let me go anywhere alone again. I almost killed somebody.
Maybe no more cocaine for you, huh?
No, I didn't say that.
I'm saying that, you fucker.
I'll take a look. I'll take Alessio. Alessio will take a look outside, Sean, and make sure no one's around the house. around the hotel.
Things look pretty normal. I mean, there's some kind of light traffic out on the street out there. There's some passersby, some pedestrians and such.
Okay. I'll watch for a bit.
Okay.
I tell them what I saw.
All right, Doctor. We'll keep an eye out. You never know. Could be
Anything
They
just,
also
you
know
could be
about the
just
priest.
seeing things. It happens to us all. It happens to the best of us, and it also happens to you.
I mutter something in Latin and I start reading the book again.
Oh, God.
All right. So it's kind of late in the day at this point. You guys going to wait until tomorrow to drive to Cannich, or are you going to take a night drive?
No, we'll wait.
Okay. So you spend the night
Yep.
at the rented flat. Prepare
Early
your
in the
gear.
morning.
Load it up into the limo the next morning. And it's about a 30-mile drive to Cannich. It takes a little more than an hour. And for much of the way, on the way there, the car parallels the River Bewley. From what you hear from some of the people in Inverness that you talk to, it's a highly regarded salmon stream. And at other times, the road winds through a maze of crofts, like renters' fields fenced with stone, crops of potatoes, oats, turnips, barley. Some fields are very small, and others over about 10 or 20 acres. And on the hillsides, you see herds of Cheviot sheep grazing placidly. And the green and stony mountains are beautiful, and the weather is blustery and salty as it sweeps in from the sea. As you arrive in Cannich, it appears to be a very small village. Very small village. You estimate that there's probably 100 people or less that even live here. And the village kind of crowds the high road at an intersection of a road that goes to Glen Urquhart and Drumna Droghgate. And another road leads to Loch Ness.
Loch Ness, huh?
Yes.
But
And,
that's not the clock that the dig's on, right?
No.
Okay.
Well, if you look at the map here, you can see, you can kind of get your bearings here. Here's Cannich down here. And then there's a road that leads, east towards Loch Ness. There's Loch Malarduck over here to the southwest of Cannich, which is supposedly where this dig was that Hancock was at. And the road you guys are coming in is from the north.
Okay.
And you know that this area is known for its fishing. It's sort of a spot for sports fishermen in the many streams that litter the area. As you guys pull into Cannich, you see a large building with a large sign that says King's Head Inn, welcoming the weary traveler. The only other buildings in town appear to be a post office, a constable's office, and another building with a sign out front that says McNabb's Emporium and General Store. And that's pretty much it at the crossroads in Cannich. There's the King's Head Inn, the post office, constable's office, and a general store.
Is there a place to buy
Let's-
fishing gear? The general store, I guess, would be where you'd get the fishing stuff at, Sean.
You would think, yeah.
I say we stop in the post office first.
For what?
We'll just see if they have anything posted on the
Yeah.
and just information. You know, the postmen are going to see everybody around here if this is a rural area, as I suppose it is.
Oh, it's very rural, yeah. And you guys are up in the
Yeah.
highlands, you know, up in the mountains, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff, you know, whatever's out there in the highlands, these guys are going to see. And whoever's coming into the town would come from the general store, but the postal workers would know that probably the most about the area, actually. Says Sparky.
Mm-hmm. It's now Friday, August 22nd. The post office has a drive-up window on the side of the building. And there's a front door, of course. When you go inside the post office, you're greeted by a small, fidgety man wearing a plain black suit and a bow tie. His hair's smoothed down and neatly parted. His nose is a little too long and his ears a little too large to be fashionable. He says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Just passing through?"
We're going to do some fishing and hunting, I think.
Ah, yes.
That's what we've been told. The fishing here is excellent, and if there's any bird hunting or deer hunting, maybe.
He says, "Yes, it's good fishing down here this time of year."
Do you have any recommendations for any guides?
He's having a little
Any-
trouble understanding you.
Any places we should focus on or avoid?
Alessio's English isn't that great.
Yeah.
I asked the
Avoid?
same questions that Alessio would ask.
Places that you would avoid. No? What do you mean?
Well, if the entire area is ripe for fishing and hunting, fantastic. If not, then I mean, there's may be some places that are dried up, or I don't know. I'm a little superstitious back home. Sometimes there's places you just wouldn't want to be around.
Kind of cocks his eyebrow at you. So you've come all the way from America to fish in Cannich, eh?
And hunt, yes. The reputation of the region precedes itself, even in the States.
Is there something I can help you with?
Well, I mean, we regard the Postal Service as, one of the best places as far as, knowledge of the area. So we came in here for your expertise, sir.
Tom, Dr. Van Helsing is kind of lurking around, behind these guys as they're talking to... he introduces himself as Mr. McIver. Pinned up in a small anteroom, kind of on the, off the side of the desk here, there's this small anteroom, and Dr. Van Helsing notices a number of wanted posters on the wall, and one of them catches your eye, Van Helsing.
Mhm. Yes.
I'll show it to you. It says wanted for murder and kidnapping, known only by the name Belphegor. 1,250 pound reward for capture and conviction. It says date of birth 1890, place of birth unknown, male of average height, thought to be a recent resident of London. Anyone with information about this criminal's whereabouts should alert their local officials or telegram New Scotland Yard. And what catches your eye, of course, is the name Belphegor, which was
He's in the
mentioned.
letters.
Yeah, which was mentioned in the letter from Duncan McBain to Carl Stanford.
Mhm.
Local
I
color.
ask about this. Say, who's this guy? Ugly.
Oh, he kind of perks up when you ask about it. He says, "Oh, well, evidence connects him with the secret society, the Hermetic Order of the Silver Star."
Secret society? What the hell is that?
Oh, it's a secret society that thought to be involved in kidnappings and murders in the London area. Hermetic Order of the Silver Star, they call themselves, I believe, yes.
Why would this be here? Are they in this area?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
He says the constable from Inverness came down last week asking about him. Apparently he's wanted for murder.
Who'd he kill?
He kidnapped a young girl in London and slashed her all to bits. Horrifying.
The constable from Inverness, huh?
Was her name Pumpkin?
I can't say. Pumpkin, no.
Bastard.
Indeed.
Where's this Silver Star people around in this area? Why aren't they looking for him there?
Oh, well, there's always rumors floating around, especially recently, about a cult of witches operating in the area. But there's no cause for alarm. Everyone knows that there are no such thing as witches or magic
Witches in the area? What area?
in Cannich. It's all a bunch of malarkey, though.
Is there good fishing around there?
Oh, yes.
Near the witches?
You don't believe in witches, do you?
No, but I believe in good fishing. I smile.
Says, if you ask me,
Cue the music.
there's a suspicious Englishman in town. Calls himself Tommy Hayes, and I'll bet if anything funny is going on in the area, he's probably the cause.
Tommy Hayes. Is he an Englishman?
Oh, yes. A Sasnak. Sort of a derogatory term that Scottishmen use for Englishmen.
A what? A what knock?
I think it's pronounced Sasnak.
Sosh knock. Okay.
It's Sassenach. I looked it up, and I think it's like a derogatory term that the Scots use for Englishmen. It says, yeah, he's
Probably one of many.
a suspicious Sasnak in town who calls himself Tommy Hayes. And if anything funny is going on in the area, he's probably the cause.
30 Sosh knocker.
Where is this guy? Where's he running around?
Oh, he's been lurking around town now for a couple of weeks. Not sure where he's staying. Possibly at the King's Head Inn.
But he's not wanted for murder, though.
No. Suspicious,
Yes.
though. Suspicious.
What's he doing? Does he have a lady friend up here or something? Is
Not that I know of.
that what he's doing?
Probably those witches.
It says recently, a man by the name of Hancock went missing in this area, causing quite the stir.
Do tell. What happened with that?
Oh, well, Henry Hancock, he was a great man. He planned to settle in Cannich and consequently purchased a fine house nearby. He says, since he's disappeared, the villagers believe that the Hancock house is haunted. People say they hear strange noises, furtive movements. You might prefer to stay at the King's Head Inn.
Isn't that where this guy is?
Says, I'm not sure where Mr. Hayes stays.
Oh, I'm sure he's around.
Says, of course, I don't believe in that sort of thing. Ghosts.
Where do these witches? Where do these witches hang out?
There are no witches.
Well,
Where
the
do these-
chicks that you
Where do
see
these
are witches.
not witches hang out?
They're just rumors, gentlemen.
There's three of them.
There's
Three
no
of
cause
us.
for alarm.
Yeah, we understand. There's no witches in Cannich. Understood.
I'm not alarmed. You said there were three of them. There's three of us. Maybe they want a date.
I don't think he ever said there's 3 of them.
No.
Well,
I'm
delusional Dr. Van Helsing, here's what he wants to hear.
Yeah, Dr. Van Helsing, you check his hands, and his hands are normal, as are his eyes.
No
Can we find a
tentacles?
guide at the general store if we're looking for someone to hunting?
Oh, he says, yes, Mr. McNabb will take care of you.
Awesome. We'll thank him for the information. Nice meeting him. We'll step outside the post office. I think
Okay.
so we can go to the house.
Can I take
Go
this
to.
poster with me?
Oh, he does give you one more piece of information, guys, before you leave. Since you're asking about Hancock, he tells you an associate or even a friend, possibly, of Mr. Hancock stays at the King's Head Inn. His name is Andrew Kennedy. He was an archaeologist that was working with Hancock before he disappeared.
There you go, Kennedy.
Definitely need to talk to him.
And he also says that Dr. Lorne McParlin was a good friend of Henry's. He also lives here in town. So Mr. Kennedy and Dr. McParlin. He also says that when Mr. Hancock was conducting his dig at the lock, that the McQuarrie brothers were working for him as diggers.
Oh,
He says the McQuarrie brothers are they live in Leatry, which is about 2 miles up the River Cannich.
they're no good, man. Remember what the letter said?
Mm-hmm.
They had
Okay.
people working for them.
They probably
those-
got the stuff.
Those brothers are bad dudes,
The
man.
McQuarrie brothers. He says they live in a very small village just outside of Cannich called Leatry. And he also lets you guys know that he believes that Hancock really didn't disappear at all, that all the talk is just really for naught. He believes that Hancock and Chisholm went back to Africa.
Hmm. All right, we got to talk to Kennedy, the doctor, and then kill these 2 diggers.
Maybe check out the home first. You know, after we talk to these guys.
The haunted house?
House Tom. We have the key.
You do have a set of keys, for the Hancock house.
But yeah, let's go to the first and see if we can find Kennedy.
The hotel?
Yeah. Way over there.
I agree.
All right.
I feed the doctor another sedative. Here, take this.
So you guys head over to the King's Head Inn. As you walk in, the inn has a full bar. There's a small dining room. It's a 2-story building. You're assuming that there are like rooms on the second floor. Inside, there's a very large, brutish-looking man tending the bar, as well as a quite attractive young woman who appears to be the barmaid.
Sparky takes an interest.
So does the doctor.
We'll take a seat. Service.
The young woman comes over and says, "Gentlemen, may I take your order?" She hands you guys some little 1-page menus.
Start with a pint.
Very well.
What kind of scotch do you have?
Just what kind do you want?
Well, maybe some Balvenie.
Very well. And you? And she looks at Van Helsing. And for you, sir?
I say he'll take a pint.
Okay. There's only one other person in the inn. He's sitting at the bar. He looks kind of dirty. His clothes are kind of ripped up. He's kind of a very large-looking fellow. Looks like a farmer type, probably. He has dark hair, unkempt. And he seems to be kind of sneaking looks over his shoulder at you guys as you're placing your order with the.
What is this crude interruption?
Crude interruption.
He has an expression on his face. He looks puzzled, or like he's trying to. It's like he has this look at this expression, like he's puzzled or he's seeking something. He looks like a pretty strange fellow. His expression is almost childlike. He's a grown man, but looks like a weird guy.
I asked the waitress, do you know who that guy is?
Oh, he says, "Oh, that's Wooly
Molly who?
McMurdo." He says, "Now, you don't buy him any drinks.
Don't
Okay.
buy him any drinks.
Don't
Why
buy him
not?
any
No
drinks.
problem.
Okay, why not?
He's a
Yeah.
mean drunk."
Well, what would you buy him?
He says, "Just please, gentlemen, don't buy him any drinks if he asks."
All right.
So she goes off to get your drinks. You guys notice prominently displayed behind the bar is a painting of a kilt-clad man of considerable vigor. And when Margaret comes back, she notices, like Sparky, you're kind of looking at it. She notices you looking at it. And she tells you that the painting depicts Sir Ewan Cameron, who in 1680 is said to have slain the last wolf of the Highlands.
The last wolf of the Highlands, eh?
Yeah.
Like a
Tell
werewolf?
us more. Tell us more.
She kind of puts her hands up and says, "That's all I know."
Charmer.
I'm going to. I say, come now, love.
She says, "Werewolves? You don't believe in that sort of thing, do you?"
I just might.
Stick to the road, stay off the moors.
She says, "Well, I can tell you, mister, don't believe anything you hear in this town. Everybody here is pretty superstitious.
What do
You'll
you
hear-
believe?
You'll hear all kinds of strange stories and of, werewolves and witches and such.
Well,
I don't believe in any of it."
Tell us more about this individual, the
Wooly.
the wolf.
She says, "Well, sir, that's all I know. That the painting's been up there for as long as anyone can remember."
Who knows more about these kinds of things in town? I'm sure there's some local storyteller or specialist.
Oh yes, Dr. McParlin is the person you'd want to talk to about any kind of
Dr.
legend.
McParlin.
lore.
Where might we find Dr. McParland?
Oh, he has a house down at the end of town. It's a small doctor's office. It has his name on the sign.
Ah, okay. Well, thank you. What time of day is it now, Sean?
It's like midday.
I mean, we haven't secured lodging yet, gentlemen. Is there a place to stay at this bar?
Yes. It's like, "Oh yes, we have rooms."
Okay. Well, yeah, I think unless my fellows here are opposed, we might like to take a look at the rooms, see what they're like, and maybe even stay here.
Sure, sounds like a good idea.
It's okay. Well, when you're ready, you just talk with Fergus over there. And she points to the guy behind the bar, who's just kind of looking at you guys. He says, "That's just talk to Fergus. He's the owner." He says, "The rooms are available by the day or by the week."
All right.
Well, let's start with the day, gents. I mean, who knows? We may find another place to stay in town.
We haven't seen anybody else come in here, Sean, right?
No, just the three that are in here.
I hope not. I don't like crowds.
No, you don't.
Looking for Kennedy, though.
You actually have almost this unnatural fear of somebody else that comes walking in, because normally 3's a crowd, but 4 would just be unbearable.
Somebody go talk to the drunk. See what he's got to say.
All right, you're gonna sit down next to Wooly.
Yeah.
All right,
Give
he
him
looks
the
at you
stink eye.
as you sit next to him. He smells like horse manure. And he just looks at you. And he says, "Buy me a drink, what?"
Now, why would I do that?
"Oh, I'm a friendly sort."
Yeah? Wow, what kind of stories can you tell me? Entertain me. Tell me about these parts.
"Late one night, I saw a werewolf down by the lock."
I thought the
black.
guy up there in the picture killed them all.
No, I'm not talking about wolves. Sorry, I'm talking about werewolves, the lycanthropes. It was black and hairy and had fangs the size of daggers.
Hmm.
I wouldn't be lurking in the woods at night if I were you. Buy me a drink, what?
Let's go
Don't
take a look at
werewolves
these
only-
rooms.
Don't werewolves only come out during a full moon?
Yeah. That's right. He looks a little drunk, actually.
Hmm.
He says, "You're an American, aren't you?"
I give him the eye.
Which one?
He says, "You're from New York?"
Why do I look like I'm from New York?
"Chicago."
Getting warmer.
Definitely give him the wrong city, man.
Cleveland.
Never heard of Cleveland. Cleveland. What's it like in Cleveland?
Lots of cleaving going on.
They have beer, no?
Lots of beer, lots of broads. Go on.
Fiery lakes.
Hmm.
Buy me a drink, what? I'll tell you some tales of the werewolves.
Come on, let's go check this room out.
And he nods and kind of googles his eyes at you.
Yeah, maybe later. Thanks. I leave.
All right.
So we'll go to Fergus. Is that the guy's name?
Fergus, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go up to Fergus and be like, "Hey, show us your best rooms."
We're thinking
Right.
about staying here for the night.
All right, he's a kind of a large, strong-looking fellow. Has kind of a mean expression on his face as you come up. He says, "How many rooms you want?"
How many can sleep to a room?
2.
What if
Take
we
2.
put all 3 of us in one room?
No.
No. No.
We'll take 2 rooms.
We want
Show
them
us your
adjoining
best 2
doors
rooms.
between them.
Do you have 2 rooms with an adjoining, like a door between the 2?
Certainly. Is that what you want?
Well, I want to take a look at them first, but yeah, I think that's how we'd want it.
All right. He kind of sighs, turns, and he gets these keys hanging on a hook behind the bar. Says, "Follow me." He takes
Go
you
put
guys
yourself
upstairs.
out, fucker.
I ask him about werewolves.
He ignores you. He says, well, actually, he doesn't ignore you. He says, well, he says, I'm not the kind that believes in that sort of thing. He says, although a few wolves do still roam in this part of the Highlands, so they say.
I thought that guy in the picture killed them all.
That's what they say. That's the legend.
Did he not complete the job?
Probably not, at least according to the local farmers.
Oh, really? What are the locals farmers saying?
That a few wolves still roam this part of the Highlands.
Any farmers that come in here on a frequent basis we might be able to talk to?
Yeah. Usually in the evenings.
Come in to
What
get their
about that?
drink on.
What about that guy that smells like manure?
Wooly, don't listen to anything he says.
Okay.
Wooly's, how should I say, not very smart. He's a nice fellow, though. So he opens up the rooms, and there are 2 adjoining rooms. Let me turn that off there. I don't know why that's on there.
Where can I find a cow?
A cow?
We'll find a cow.
A whole cow?
Why are we looking for a cow, man?
Because I want a cow!
Tom is fixated on this blade spell.
And he says, well, Ian McLennan, he's the wealthiest farmer in the area. He's got a herd of cows.
Cool. I like cows.
So the room's decent, Sean?
Oh, yeah. It's more than decent. It's actually pretty nice.
Thank you, Fergus.
Yeah. How long do you think you'll be staying?
See?
Don't know.
Y'all be doing some hunting?
Yeah, some
Yes.
fishing and hunting. Probably both.
You got permission?
We're gonna go down to the general store and I'd get permission from someone.
Why? Who do we need permission from?
We'll have to go down to the.
Well, unless you plan on hunting down by the lock. You know, most of the area around here is farmland. You know, I suggest that you talk to Mr. McLennan. He owns most of the land around here.
Excellent. Thanks for the tip. London's the man. How can we get in contact with him?
He lives down the old road at the east part of town, a couple miles out. Says you gotta be careful though. He's a little jealous of people coming unannounced. You know what I mean?
Okay. Does he have a phone?
No, not many around here have any phones. The only phone in town's at the post office.
Gotcha.
Fergus doesn't talk much.
That's okay.
So you guys get
What
set
about
up.
Ken? No, go ahead.
You guys get set up in your rooms. Throw him a couple crowns.
Yeah, we'll tip him.
Hmm.
He tells you if you're paying daily, you know, he wants the money up front each day. He also, so he says that you may want to check with Ian McLennan, who's the wealthiest farmer in town. There's also some other farmers. He mentioned some names: Angus McNair. He's got a farm outside of town. Sandy McNeil, who's the constable here in town. He owns a farm. And the McRays.
Hmm. Who are they?
Oh, they're a couple. They raise sheep.
Cool.
Few miles out of town.
So we definitely have more than a couple contacts to try to get the hunting mission from.
Everybody give me a psychology roll.
That was a good roll, Tom, even though you didn't make it.
Yeah.
Close.
Tom, you rolled psychoanalysis. Roll
Oh.
psychology.
My bad.
Okay.
Oh, I missed by 1?
Luck. Use the luck point, man.
Yeah, can I use 1 luck point?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, use a luck. When he mentions the McRays, you're like, who are the McRays?
Yeah.
He kind of turns away from you as he says, you know, oh, they raise sheep out there. There's something like, possibly something about the McRays. Like, he gets this kind of look on his face as you ask about them, and he turns away as he's talking to you. You get the feeling like he doesn't want to talk about the McRays for some reason.
Why don't you want to talk about the Marie?
They got the best fish in there or what?
No. If y'all need anything, you just let me know.
Hmm.
He starts walking out of the room.
Thanks, Fergus.
Yep.
Hmm.
Ask them about Kennedy. Or should we just go down to the doctor?
Well, McInnes, the postmaster guy, he told you that Kennedy was staying at the inn.
Yeah, so he's here.
You know.
So someone could go downstairs and ask about him, I suppose. Sparky.
Yeah, I'm probably the best person to do it.
Fluent, charming person. If you want to say, hey, is
Yeah.
Mr. Kennedy here? And
Yeah, you asked. Yeah, Sparky, you asked the barmaid. You find out that her name is Margaret in passing. Attractive woman. Of course, she seems to be attracted to you somewhat. Although you get this sort of sense of sadness in her eyes for some reason as you're speaking to her. But she tells you that Dr. Kennedy is staying in room 3 upstairs. He says, I think he's up there.
Okay. If we knocked on his door, would that be too forward, or what kind of man is he? You be okay with that?
No, he's a fine gentleman. I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
All right. Well, I'll go back and tell the gents what I'm going to do in case
Okay.
anybody wants to accompany.
yeah, I'll definitely go with him.
Yep.
All right.
You knock on the door, and
So you knock on the door, and a man answers it. Very well dressed and groomed, sort of a tweedy academic style. And he's lost most of his hair. He wears wire-rimmed glasses. And it says, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Can I help you?"
well, we're new to the area, and we figured we'd stop in and just
You were,
introduce ourselves and maybe learn a little bit more about the area. Sounds
you were
like
Jacob. Wasn't he? Wasn't he? His friend though. Wasn't he Jacob's good acquaintance?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. The postmaster told you he's an archaeologist.
Yeah. We should.
He was a
yeah,
friend of Hancock.
We should just ask him straight up, man.
well,
Like,
then we do.
What do you say?
Well,
we know Jacob's. We know
I'm
Jacob's family.
I'm a relative of Jacob. Let's start there. You know,
Oh, it says you're a relative.
yeah.
Well, I assume you've shown up here to try to find out what happened to Henry.
Yes, absolutely.
Come in, come in. And he
Alright,
kind of
so-
leads you into the room and tells you to sit down. He says, "I've been here. I came back from Edinburgh a few days ago. I've been here for a few days, just trying to see if I can find out anything. I don't believe Henry and Adam went back to Africa, as some of the locals are saying. But I just came back here for a few days, hoping that they'll turn up alive. But," and he kind of lowers his voice a little bit. He says, "But I fear, gentlemen, that if I stay much longer, that I myself will disappear, as did Henry and Adam."
Really? Whatever would make you say that?
I believe it was the work that Henry and Adam were doing here. He says they discovered a site on the north shore of the loch. He says they were led to look there by a Latin manuscript Dr. McParlin found in Inverness, translated.
Yeah.
He says, Henry believed that the dig site contained what he called the Temple of Azothog, mentioned in the manuscript. And they found traces of Pictish inhabitants at the site, but didn't find anything definite until a few days before their disappearances. He says that day they unearthed 2 human skeletons with Roman weapons and bits of Roman armor. And they also discovered skeletons of a large reptile, which they were totally unfamiliar with.
Hmm.
And the most disturbing thing, Henry said that night they saw a huge creature, like a slimy kraken, near the shore of the loch.
Really?
Henry and Adam were troubled enough by the vision that Hancock sent a letter to Jacob, his nephew in the States, and suspended work at the site. And that same night, he uncrated his 2 elephant guns. Henry was quite the big game hunter, you know. Hancock, he offered me one, but I chose instead to move into the village. And a few days later, Hancock and Chisholm disappeared. He says, I'm just spending time here in town to document what I know that has been done at the loch.
What did they do with their finds? Like the stuff that they actually found at the.
He says,
They able to.
I don't know. After the first finds of the Roman artifacts, and especially after the find of the skeletons of the reptile, Henry became withdrawn and secretive. He wouldn't tell me much of his work after that.
Was he out at the site more, or did he come back to his house at all?
As far as I know, him and Adam were spending quite a bit of time out at the site.
Who owns that land out there? Or who's adjacent to that land out there where the site is, or is that just open public land?
He says the site is not too far from Duncan McBain's house in Craig Dube, which is a hill atop which sits some ancient stone monoliths.
Duncan McBain. What do you know about him?
Yeah, McBain.
Not much. Sort of an old hermit
Uh-oh.
that lives out by the Craig. He says, I spoke with Sandy McBean, who's a shepherd. He works out near the slopes of the crag. And he said that last week he told me that he saw Duncan McBain speaking with a beautiful young woman that he didn't recognize out near the crag, which is the hill near Duncan McBain's place where the stones are.
It's the French bitch.
Good
Chantraine.
point. Yep.
Chantraine, probably. Interesting.
He says, I think Dr. McParlin would know more than I about what Henry may have found out there. They were very good friends, you know. He says, Hancock had me come out from Edinburgh at the university to help identify some of the finds that they unearthed. But as I said, you know, after some of the Roman artifacts that they found in the reptile skeleton, he didn't share much with me after that. But I'm sure Dr. McParlin would know. He also might let you look at the transcript that started this whole thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, we should definitely go speak with him.
Were they using explosives at all at the dig site?
No, it was more or less a traditional archaeological dig.
Sure.
It's a rather large site. I think they uncovered remnants of a camp and a temple. The temple is what he was looking for. The temple of Asa. He looks at his notes. Azathog. Aesathog. That's what interested Henry the most, was finding the temple.
Well, it sounds like they did.
It's quite possible.
And do you know anything about this order of the the silver? What was this one called? It's not the silver twilight. It's the silver.
Right. Let's see. MacIver called it the Hermetic Order of the Silver Star.
Silver Star. That's right.
He says, I can't say I
know?
do. I don't know. Never heard of that.
Mm,
Is this some sort of group that you think may be involved with this?
yes. Indeed.
And what makes you think that?
Unfortunately, we've had some.
Careful.
Yeah, I know. Run-ins with similar.
He says, well, as I
As you
said,
know, as you know, in London, there's supposedly have murdered people and kidnapped people
you don't say.
in London. News.
And you think that that has something to do with the disappearance of Henry and Adam?
It could, because we saw this poster in the post office of this guy who's wanted. He's apparently a part of this group. Here in the
Interesting.
area. He's been here in the area.
And their disappearance is
Good God.
coincidental to all this transpiring.
So it would make sense if there was a group here that was interested in, right? And when they found out that he was investigating it,
You could be onto something.
to him, right?
Henry did have a good sense of the occult. I think that's what you're trying to get at. Shocking, he says.
Talk to the doctor. We can.
It makes me not want to stay much longer.
Why don't you come with us?
No. I must return to Edinburgh. He says,
Safety in numbers and all. You're welcome to come along for the search.
he says, you should speak to Dr. McParlin. Also, I would direct you to a local herdsman by the name of Ian McDonald. He could direct you to the dig site. He's trustworthy.
He is
Yes. McDonald.
Ian McDonald. Okay.
He says he owns a farm at Cosey Lodge, a couple miles below the lock. He's somewhat of an authority on Glen Cannich and the surrounding areas.
Really? So it was Glen Cozy?
Yeah, it's Cosey Lodge.
Cozy Lodge.
Cozae. He says, he's an old bachelor, lives out there by himself, but over a friendly cup, he'll talk at length about any subject that you desire.
Awesome.
And he'll give you directions. He'll take you to the dig site. He also knows where the McBain house lies.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for all your information.
Yes, thanks for speaking with us, and please entertain staying. We'd be happy to have another person along with us.
I'm afraid I'll be heading back to Edinburgh tomorrow.
You should get out of here and watch your back.
Yes, I would say the same to you, gentlemen.
Might want to not go back to your house. You might want to take a little vacation for a little while.
My thoughts exactly.
Or someone doesn't know you and just kind of see what happens. Hang out for a couple weeks and see what transpires. That would be wise. All right, let's go off to see the doctor.
All right,
profusely and
off to the doctor we go. Well, I mean, depending on what time it is.
Oh, it's still early afternoon.
Okay,
Perfect.
yeah.
You guys left in the morning and only took a little over an hour to get out here, so it's a little afternoon, I would say. So you find the doctor's office, Dr. Lorne McParlin, and he answers his door. And he appears to be at least 90 years old, white hair.
Oh my God, at least 90.
At least older. Yeah. Seems to be a little hard of hearing.
the doctor fits right in.
And he invites you into his little office. And he asks you, how can he be of service?
So we explained to him just exactly who we just spoke to and our connection and our thoughts on what's going on, in regards to the poster we saw in the post office and the supposed organization in London and how this guy's connected and
Okay.
this temple, and it would appear that maybe they've been kidnapped. We're concerned about their safety. He would be
Yeah.
appreciated.
Well, when you mentioned that you spoke with Mr. Kennedy, and that he, told you what he did, and he mentioned the manuscript. When you mentioned the manuscript, he asked if you would like to see the actual manuscript that he himself translated. And he tells you that this is basically Henry Hancock came to Cannich to basically vacation. He has sort of a summer home here. He says, but when I let him know about this manuscript that I had translated, he was very interested in it, especially in the part about this Temple of Azathoth. The manuscript describes a Roman expedition to Loch Malardoch and the Temple of Azathoth. And that is exactly what Hancock and Chisholm believed that they were excavating. And he shows you the manuscript.
Ooh.
And it's a bit of a read here. Let me see.
We ain't afraid of no reading.
Well, I'll just read it to you. It's story time, fellas.
Ooh. Hold
This
on.
is-
Let me get my jams on.
A long time ago. So the summary of the expedition to Loch Malardoch. Let me get this on the screen here.
The Romans.
Marcus Arturus, an engineer for 4 years on the Great Wall named for Emperor Hadrian, was looking forward to returning to his family's villa in Rome when Platorius Nepos, governor of Britain, arrived at the camp. 2 weeks later, Marcus and a full century of legionnaires headed north into Pictish territory. The troops were led by a centurion named Nemesian, a veteran of many campaigns who was nominally under Marcus's orders in all save battle. Platorius Nepos had asked, not ordered, Marcus to pursue a man called Belphegor and return him for trial.
Holy shit.
What?
He like looks at you like, what?
Look at the poster.
Yeah. He's like, what poster?
The one at the post office.
Marcus also was to try to find a golden disc with intricate carving and strange runes and destroy it. The governor's presence alone suggested the urgency of the quest, but sending an entire century into the Pictish lands north of the wall at a time when soldiers were all too few astounded all who heard of the mission. They almost caught Belphegor on the banks of a small stream whose waters were dark with peat, possibly the area now known as Blackburn, which means Black Stream. The soldiers had separated to surround Belphegor's camp when they in turn were attacked by a large band of painted Picts. Half the soldiers were slain before Nemesian could get them regrouped. Marcus saved the centurion when he went down under a swarm of dagger-wielding savages. Once the soldiers were regrouped, the savages retreated, but Belphegor was safely away. They pushed north on Belphegor's trail. Marcus went alone into the camp of the Picts, and after giving the chief gifts, explained the nature of the expedition. The Picts captured him and tied him in one of their huts. They would have killed him except for the fortuitous arrival of a holy man, John, whom the Picts respected and feared. John asked the Picts to release Marcus and return his belongings, which they reluctantly did. John and Marcus spoke together at length for several hours. When they parted, John left a sword with Marcus. The Picts gave the expedition no further trouble, They even sent guides and trackers with them and sent runners ahead to warn the other villages that these Romans were the friends of the Deathless One and not to be harmed. Yet Belphegor eluded them, for he had the aid of the Serpent People, who were at the time strong enough to defy the Picts.
Huh.
Many months of searching and questioning Picts led the expedition deep into the highlands, where they finally confronted Belphegor on the shores of a lake. The Serpent People had a temple to their Azothog the Great, built of stone from the nearby mountain and the shore. Around the temple were other buildings of stone for the use of Belphegor and for the local tribe of Picts who worshipped Azothog also. Nemesian led his troops in an attack from the east while Marcus slipped in from the west. They met inside the temple, where the last guards were slain, but Belphegor had fled through a door to another world. Marcus cut down the serpent priests with his sword, and Nemesian tried to break the golden disc. All of his efforts failed until Marcus lent him his sword. The sword cut through the disc, and with a few strokes, the disc was cut into 3 sections. Nemesian was building a fire to melt it down when a great beast came from the mountain and attacked the remaining soldiers. Its wounds healed themselves as fast as they were inflicted. Marcus discovered a serpent priest who had escaped the slaughter of his companions, and when he killed him, the beast went mad. The ground began to shake, and the temple collapsed, killing all but Marcus, who was pushed through the doorway into another world. The rest of the expedition died in rubble. When Marcus found himself in a deep forest, rather than the temple, his first thoughts were to return and aid his companions, but the collapse of the temple had destroyed the doorway, and he was unable to return. In time, Marcus discovered the inhabitants of the forest and made friends with them. He became a member of the clan and wed the daughter of one of the clan members. They had 2 sons and a daughter. Marcus taught his family to speak his language and tried to use his engineering skills to aid the clan, but the clan lived for the freedom of the forest and had no use for roads and bridges. They only built small cottages to sleep in during wet or cold weather, and several years passed before trouble marred the harmony of the clan. One night the Serpent People came with silver and fire and killed most of the clan. With them they brought monstrous black serpent-like beings with bat-like wings that constantly writhed and seemed to change form. Marcus slew one creature with his sword, but one of the Serpent People drove a dagger into his back. As soon as Marcus fell, the attackers fled. That Marcus's wife and sons died, but he lived for several weeks and taught his daughter to use his sword that she might defend the clan should another attack come. Here ends the account of Marcus Arturus. How it was passed down is known by none.
That was an interesting story.
There's
Yeah.
a lot of really cool information in there as far as like John, the Holy One, and
Yeah,
Gabe.
well, Belphegor and then the Serpent People, man.
Yeah.
And of note, especially those who were at the lake house to witness it, the description. With them they brought a monstrous black serpent-like beings with bat-like wings that constantly writhed and seemed to change form. That's almost a perfect description of the vengeance bear that you guys encountered in Vermont, I should say. Very similar anyway. Dr. McParlin goes on and tells you that he knows legends about these serpent people and the temple that they once had in the area. And the traditions suggest that the ancient druids once interbred with the very serpents that they worshipped, and that the unions gave rise to a spawn of half-human snakes who ravaged the area until Sir Gawain of the Round Table exterminated them. He says once in a while, some rude shepherd or wayfarer still reports seeing one of these beings. And he suggests that perhaps the rustic has merely seen the ghost of such a creature, released for a period from hell, he says. Somewhere in the region, the great temple of these beings is supposed to be hidden, either underground or within a lake. And the temple is the site where they worship the devil, and is supposedly still guarded by a great dragon, which Gawain spared, so that the wicked would not be tempted to reenact the evil rituals that created the man snakes. And he tells you that Henry believed that he had found this temple at the dig site down by the lock.
Yeah.
He tells you that that Andrew Kennedy has a partial copy of this manuscript,
Hmm.
as well as Father McBride, the local
Oh,
Catholic,
really?
the local Catholic priest. He tells you that he shared this manuscript with him, thinking that he would be interested. Well, he's a bit of a history buff, he says.
What was his reaction?
Was he interested?
Yeah, actually, I believe he sent a letter to his superior. I believe it was a cardinal.
Really?
Yeah.
Should go talk to the priest.
Yeah, definitely. He actually sent something along to the higher chain there, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Interesting.
To the church.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
But other than that, other than the manuscript and what McParlin knows about these legends of serpent people in the area, he also really has no idea what happened to Hancock and Chisholm. He tends to believe that they probably did return to Africa.
really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, most normal people wouldn't want to believe anything else, you know?
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, let's go. We thank him for the information and tell him to be cautious.
Yeah. I mean, he tells you, even though, I am a bit of an authority on local folklore, I personally don't believe in the supernatural, he tells you.
Hmm.
So far from what we've learned, that seems like you can almost the supernatural's unavoidable here. Oh,
Yeah.
He's a man of science. We appreciate that. Let's go to the church.
yeah, I'm down with that.
Hmm.
All right.
Let's talk to this priest.
Well, Father McBride, a somewhat pudgy Catholic priest, he kind of peers over his glasses at you as you're speaking with him. And upon mention of the Roman expedition to the lock, he tells you that yes, he does have a partial copy of it that he sent along to his superiors, and he shows it to you. And his copy of the manuscript kind of starts where Marcus found himself in the deep forest. So the whole first part of the story is not in his copy, but you can see that he wrote. There's a handwritten note that he had, sort of a draft that he did before he sent it, and it says. It says, an interesting tale, is it not, Your Eminence? I have verified several parts of the tale. Platorius Nepos was the governor of Britain during the period. Hadrian's Wall was built between 122 and 126 AD. Beyond these facts, little can be discovered. I hope that you have enjoyed the account, though I fear that I am not much of a storyteller. My prayers are ever for the continued success of our efforts to bring salvation to our fellow men. Signed, Father McBride.
Hmm.
So the whole first part's edited out, basically.
Yeah, it looks like it's. I mean, Dr. McParlin said that he shared the entire manuscript with them, but I don't know. Apparently, for some reason, Father McBride only found the last part of it interesting, or at least interesting enough to send it on to his superiors.
That's odd.
Yeah, it is a little weird. I mean, we're here, let's just ask him. I was like, Father, is there a reason why you omitted the first part of the story?
Well, as I told the Cardinal, I'm not much of a storyteller. What I've been trying to do, gentlemen, is confirm as much of this tale as I possibly can. He says, I've been in contact with some scholarly types in Edinburgh to help verify parts of this story, as far as names, places, and things like that.
Hmm.
He seems, pretty straightforward when he tells you that.
And you read the first part, correct?
Yes,
And what do you think of that?
it was very interesting. Although, as far as the truth of the matter, a lot of it does seem like legend and myth.
Well, sure, but
Many-
within all legends, there's some truth. I mean, there was probably a expedition, right?
Yes, that's my inclination, is to believe that there was actually an expedition to these parts. But so far, I haven't been able to really confirm anything, except that Platorius was the governor of Britain during the period. That the whole Hadrian's Wall part seems to fit as well for that time period. As far as, Picts and serpent people, I don't know so much about that.
Well, yeah, of course. Picts probably are possible. Some type of indigenous tribe raising hell.
Yes.
Sure, the Romans dealt with that, but
Yeah, well,
both try some
us
local
Scots are a superstitious folk as well, Because you'll hear all kinds of stories up here in the Highlands. Most of it's nonsense, of course.
Sure.
Hmm.
For your time.
Will you pray with me, gentlemen?
Of course.
Certainly.
Ye Dominus.
Yes.
Across.
Yeah.
Me
Yes.
bony
Alessio.
bony.
Alessio knows all the Catholic moves. He does the sign of the cross.
Yeah, he insists that you pray with him before you leave.
Bless us, Father. We have sinned.
Big time.
All of us.
So right next door to the doctor's place is McNabb's Emporium and General Store. So you kind of look inside. You figure you stop by there and just take a look around. The store itself isn't very big. Most of the stuff in here, I can give you kind of a description of what's in here. Mostly a stock of tinned food, various flours, tinned lard,
Lard and whiskey.
quite a pretty vast number of mechanical parts, screws, bolts, hardware, nuts and bolts, those kind of things. Some practical books, like cookbooks, maps, things like that. Fashion magazines, hard candy.
Fashion magazines.
Yeah.
Maps of the area.
Mm-hmm. Mostly road maps, though, Tom. Nothing really too detailed geographically, anyway. Mostly just road maps, rail maps, things like that. Hard candies, kerosene, batteries, bolts of cloth, fishing gear, clothing, safety matches, axle grease, tin snips, needles and thread, axes, lanterns, chains, ropes, stuff like that.
Okay.
And Jamie McNabb, who runs the place, introduces himself. He's sort of a thin, energetic kind of fellow with a pot belly. And he's drinking beer Back there, he's doing paperwork, and you can see he's got a pint sitting there as you enter. He's a friendly guy. You know, he asks us if there's anything he can help you find, if there's anything you need, or you know, he starts showing you like when he finds out that you guys are there to fish and hunt and stuff. He starts showing you the all the fishing gear that he has.
Hmm.
Does he know anybody around here that would let us hunt on their property?
He also suggests McLennan, Ian McLennan. He's
Okay.
he's the principal landowner in the area.
We hear he's a little touchy though about people showing up at his place.
He's a stingy bastard.
Oh,
Stingy,
see.
even though we'll be coming with, money to possibly use his land.
Oh yeah,
What about that?
I'm sure that would be acceptable. It's nothing he likes more than money.
What about the name that one guy didn't like to say when we were back at the hotel? What was it when he didn't look me in the eye?
Yeah, it was the McRaes. They're a couple sheep herders. He tells you that, yeah, mentioning that, he says that the McRae baby has gone missing. He says Elizabeth, Mrs. McRae, is very distraught over this. And poor old Rab, her husband, he believes that the little people took away his daughter.
The little
The
people.
little people,
Yeah.
like a leprechaun sort of scenario.
Yeah, he says the baby went missing a few days ago. And the constable's been working on it, but there's no sign of the baby.
We should
Babies.
definitely go talk to them.
Yeah.
The baby sacrifice material.
Yeah, but he's like, oh, poor old Rab. He's very superstitious. He thinks that the little people took away his daughter, and there's no hope of finding her. Poor guy.
Hmm. Okay.
He says if you do go out to see the McRaes, maybe he hears like Sparky saying in his breath, "Oh, we got to go see them." He says, beware of the old man Duncan McBain. He's sort of a hermit type. He lives out there on the crag. Strange fellow. He says on a hunting trip earlier this year I took out there. He says, I saw old McBain up on the crag in the stone circle. Looked like he was chanting pagan rites
Uh-oh.
up on the mountaintop. He says, him and Willie Wassel, who he lives up there with him, they're crazy old fools. He says,
Willie, is that
he says
the drunk?
you might want to stay away from that area. No,
Who? Willie who?
Willie Wassel. Now the guy at the bar, Tom, his name was Wally McMurdo.
Oh, okay.
Different guy. There's a lot of mechs in here. Yeah, he said he saw him like up on the mountaintop or up on the hilltop in the stone circle, completely naked, completely butt naked, and he was up there chanting some pagan rites in the circle of standing stones up there.
Sounds normal.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
Maybe a little off.
Well, there's the house. Donald. And then there's the McRaes.
I say we go chalk out Donald first.
Ian McDonald.
Yeah.
Yeah. What time is it now, Sean? Is it getting
Late afternoon. It's getting towards supper time. I'm going to put some
We-
representations of some of these NPCs at the top of the screen here,
If we
Ooh.
had
so we can kind of keep track of them.
grab a bottle of good scotch, head out to the McDonald Ozo Lodge.
Okay. I'll tell you what, since it's getting to be midnight, maybe now would be a good time to stop before you guys actually head out there.
Mm.
So you're thinking of going out to the Koze Lodge to visit Mr. McDonald.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, he's the guy that you were told could lead you to the dig site. He's a trustworthy fellow. But yeah, that's a lot to absorb for one night.
Yeah, there's
I'm
a lot going on and
in Cannich,
Yeah.
yes.
a lot of mix to remember.
Yeah, and I'm gonna kind of put them all up here at the top so we can kind of keep track of some of these people.
Yeah, I might just want to drop the mic and just focus on whatever the name is post.
Right. I mean, so far I think you guys have a good 8 or 10 different people here.
Now, the priest that we met, is that a different church from where I left the key?
Oh yes, yeah, that was in Inverness, in the major city that you guys came from. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we've got, let's see, Fergus, the McRays, Willie Wassel.
Which one's Willie Wassel?
Um,
you know
And
what's
then
awesome
he
about
told you
that
that
picture?
he lives with Duncan McBain. Here, let me pull these down here. What picture are you talking about, Lee?
The picture I posted with all the tomes.
Oh yeah,
Like we actually have
you do.
a decent representation of what we have. I mean, there's a lot of the books
Yeah.
there that we actually. It's awesome. I was like, look
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah, that's what kind of caught my eye about it, because
Yeah, the Revelations of
you get the
Glaaki. The
Necronomicon, Nameless Cults, Cultus
Yeah.
Schools, all
Yeah.
the volumes of Revelations of Glaaki.
Yeah.
That was out of the an older edition rule book, I think, that I saw.
Nice.
The cultist de school is.
That's
So
all
we got
good.
Fergus, the McQuarrie brothers.
You're bastards. Don't trust them.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you can't trust Scottish brothers, that's for sure.
Oh man. These or Campbell's.
Definitely
Campbell,
not. Unless it's Bruce Campbell, that changes everything. But
Right. Yeah.
I'm kind of doing an order of appearance here. We got Fergus, Wooly, Belphegor, Tavis MacGyver, he's the postmaster. Let's see, Margaret's the barmaid. And then we've got Fergus. Oh, we got Fergus in there twice. And we got Dr. McParlin, Father McBride.
What a cast of characters.
You know. Yeah, that's one thing about this chapter. There is quite a cast of characters.
It's awesome.
Duncan McBain.
which one's Duncan?
Bring him up here. There he is. He's a.
Okay.
It's insane. Either that or his hemorrhoids are really kicking into high gear.
Yeah. And you got the McQuarrie brothers down here. You got Willie Wassel, who evidently lives with Duncan McBain.
And that was the guy at the bar.
No,
No.
that was Wooly. This guy.
Okay.
That guy, yeah. The guy down there is the guy that was running around naked with McBain on top of the mountain doing the pagan rituals. And you can tell
Right.
it from his insane look in his eye. Look at him. He's a freak.
Yeah, it's not necessarily like you know what they look like, but just for representation purposes.
Yeah.
Let's
Insane.
God.
You guys have a
I'm
pretty
not gonna
good
be able to
idea that
scrub that out of my head anytime soon.
you guys have a pretty good idea that Miss Chantrain is around here somewhere. You heard that apparently she's maybe staying out at the McLennan place with the rich farmer guy.
Oh. I see how she works.
Remember she who was it? I think it was Andrew Kennedy who said that or no, I don't know, somebody who said that oh yeah, Kennedy told you that Rabbi McLaren, who's a farmer or shepherd out there, saw McLaren out there with a young woman.
Yeah, pretty girl.
Pretty young woman. So Rabbi McLaren saw McLennan. I may be
He's
missing.
been by a witch.
There he is, Ian McLennan. You think?
Yeah. He thinks she's all supple and sweet, but really she's just a dried husk of a mummy.
God.
Sapping his life force. She's super smart. She goes right for the richest guy in the area who's got all the land.
Sounds like a witch.
Oh, indeed.
No fool.
All right, so there we go. I think that's
It's been
pretty-
around since 1620 at least.
Yeah.
She
All right.
can't possibly be the same person.
I'm sure she's
No.
perfected her game.
All right, so you got a lot of people to kill.
Yeah.
No.
It's a lot of garroting that right there.
Yeah, this could be
Don't-
interesting.
Don't everybody get in line all at one time.
Yeah.
Right.
Got to get them all in the same place at the same time. If we're going to kill
Some of the doctor's special lead treatments.
them.
Free pizza and cupcakes at the post office.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah, throw a party, right?
Ew.
So yeah, that's a lot to take in there. The account of the expedition is pretty interesting, and I'm sure as time goes on, some of that may make even more sense. And of course, the main thing is to really kind of find out what happened to Henry Hancock and what he was doing. Now, already you've gotten some pretty good hints. I'm gonna put the townsfolk kind of up here. You've got people you met at the King's Head Inn. Fergus, the innkeeper. Wooly, the strange, smelly guy at the bar. And Margaret, the barmaid. And you've got Tavis McIver, who's the postmaster. Jamie McNabb of McNabb's Emporium. Dr. McParlin, Father McBride. And then Duncan McBain, Willie Mossel. Rabbi McLaren's the guy out there that saw the anyway, I'll tell you what I'll do is maybe I'll make a little
Index.
not like an index, but just a sort of summary. Maybe I can do it like in Discord or something.
Can you write in their name, like after their name?
Yeah,
their
well,
profession or whatever?
we'll see. What I was thinking is I wish that these tokens that you guys could make notes on them, I can make GM notes on them. But
Got it.
I think if you double click on it, I don't think there's anywhere to write. I don't know. Try double clicking on one of them. And is there
Negative.
a space? Yeah, there's no space in there to write anything, right?
No.
Well, what I can do is I could probably just make an individual handout for each of them. It wouldn't take anything, and I could do that and just make kind of a list of all the names where you guys could make notes on each of them if you wanted to. That's actually kind of what the book suggests, having like an index card for each of them or something like that, just to keep track of things. But I can just do a summary too, like I said, and I can even put that into a handout, so we can kind of have a who's who, you know, of Cannich kind of
It'd
a
be
thing.
great to have a little PDF of that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Sweet.
No problem.
Very good. That was a good game.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot of information.
Yep.
A lot less
And maybe-
explosive than last episode.
Yeah.
I'd say.
And maybe Sunday, Sean, if you're around, maybe I could we could hook up and I can roll up another character.
Yeah. Sunday should work. I'll be around.
Okay. Cool.
Just hop on a Discord and let me know what time or whatever.
Okay. Very
Yep.
good. Cool,
All right,
man.
guys. Until next time.
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good
Thank
night.
you. You
All
too.
right, gents.
See y'all later.
See ya.